It was a phantom, a whisper of death, streaking across the embattled skies of Europe at speeds no propeller-driven aircraft could ever hope to match. Allied airmen, hardened by brutal combat, found themselves utterly helpless against its blistering pace and ferocious armament. This wasn't just a new weapon, it was a glimpse into a terrifying future. This revolutionary machine possessed the terrifying power to shatter entire bomber formations, a feat that almost snatched victory for Nazi Germany. By the end of this journey, you will uncover the untold saga of the Messerschmitt Me 262, the world's first operational jet fighter. How could a machine so utterly superior arrive on the battlefield only to be remembered as the jet fighter that came too late? The year is 1944. The relentless drumbeat of war echoed across a Germany teetering on the precipice of ruin. The once dominant Luftwaffe was a shadow of its former self, decimated by the overwhelming might of Allied air power. Day after day, wave after punishing wave, thousands of American and British bombers ripped through German airspace, turning cities into infernos and industrial centers into rubble. Germany urgently needed a miracle. They believed they had found it, hidden in plain sight, in the sleek, radical silhouette of the Messerschmitt Me 262. The genesis of this revolutionary machine stretched back years. As early as 1938, the brilliant mind of Dr. Waldemar Voigt and his team had begun work on Project 1065, an audacious concept for an aircraft powered not by propellers, but by the nascent thrust of jet engines. The Me 262 truly soared into history on July 18, 1942, making its maiden flight entirely on jet power, propelled by two Junkers Jumo 004 engines. This was more than just a flight. It was a terrifying glimpse into the future of aviation. The Messerschmitt Me 262 was, quite simply, a technical marvel. Its distinctive swept-wing design, revolutionary for its time, was adopted to address issues of center of gravity, but it inadvertently unlocked unparalleled aerodynamic advantages at high speeds. Nestled beneath those wings were its beating hearts, twin Junkers 004 turbojet engines, giving the Me 262 an astonishing top speed of approximately 540 miles per hour. To put that into chilling perspective, the fastest Allied fighter, the P-50 Mustang, could only manage around 420 miles per hour. This meant the Me 262 was a staggering 120 miles per hour faster than anything the Allies could put in the sky. Armed with four devastating 30mm Mk108 cannons mounted in its nose, the Schwalbe was a truly deadly interceptor. A short burst from these cannons could rip apart even the most heavily armored B-17 Flying Fortress. Later versions could also carry up to 24 R-4M air-to-air rockets, unleashed in a terrifying volley designed to pulverize an entire bomber formation. The Me 262 wasn't merely a fast plane, it was a catastrophic force. Yet this path to revolutionary air superiority was plagued by unseen, persistent obstacles. The journey from initial concept to operational reality was agonizingly slow, marred by an endless succession of setbacks. The Junkers Jumo 004 engines, while groundbreaking, were notoriously unreliable. They were prone to mechanical failures and possessed a disturbingly short operational lifespan. This fragility was compounded by Germany's dire shortage of strategic materials. But perhaps the most catastrophic intervention came from Adolf Hitler himself. Upon seeing the Me 262, he became fixated on its potential as a fast bomber, the Sturmvogel, believing its speed would allow for revenge attacks. He famously insisted, despite vehement objections from experienced fighter pilots like General Adolf Galland, that the Me-262 be developed primarily as a ground attack bomber. This devastating order diverted significant resources and production capacity away from its intended role as a desperately needed interceptor, squandering precious time. It was like angels were pushing, veteran fighter pilot General Adolf Galland remarked after his first flight, calling the jet not a step forward, but a great leap forward. His plea for immediate mass production was unheeded until it was tragically too late. Despite these immense internal struggles, the Me-262 finally entered operational service in mid-1944. The psychological impact on Allied airmen was profound. Sergeant John Quinlan recalled his first encounter. It was like a demon, there one second, gone the next. This speed advantage was so overwhelming that Allied fighter pilots, usually the hunters, became the hunted. The Me-262 pilots could engage and disengage at will, their blazing speed making them almost impossible to intercept. The Me-262's formidable speed forced German pilots to devise entirely new anti-bomber tactics. Approaching from astern and 1,800 meters higher, they would perform a devastating roller coaster attack, diving through the formation, unleashing their cannons and rockets, then using their speed to climb away safely. The advent of the R-4M rocket further amplified their destructive power. Lieutenant Klaus Neumann noted, "The rockets gave us extra punch and then pick off the crippled stragglers." He described flying the jet as like being a god in a way. However, the Allies, though initially stunned, were quick to adapt. They couldn't catch the Me-262 in a dogfight, but they could hit its critical weaknesses. The fragile Jumo 004 engines were highly susceptible to damage. Fuel shortages drastically curtailed training and operational flying hours. Furthermore, the Me-262's vulnerability during takeoff and landing became its Achilles heel. Allied fighter pilots, particularly those in P-51 Mustangs, began to patrol German airfields, ambushing the jets as they lumbered skyward or came in for a landing. You had to catch them napping. Takeoff or landing was your only shot, declared P-51 ace Captain Don Bryan. Allied bombers pounded jet bases, wiping out dozens of Me-262s on the ground. The climax of the Me-262's desperate fight came in the war's final brutal months. By March 1945, 37 Me-262s intercepted a colossal Allied raid over Berlin. Deploying their R-4M rockets with devastating effect, the Me-262s claimed 12 bombers and 1 fighter, for the loss of just 3 of their own. It was a stark, horrifying demonstration of what the jet could achieve, a terrifying glimpse of what might have been. But it was a fleeting victory, a final, defiant roar from a dying empire. The sheer scale of Allied air superiority, combined with the profound logistical and strategic failures on the German side, ensured that these individual spectacular successes were merely delaying the inevitable. The Me-262 could not change the catastrophic trajectory of a war already lost. As the Third Reich collapsed, the remaining Me-262s were either destroyed, captured, or flown to neutral countries in desperate escapes. Allied air forces meticulously studied the captured jets. This painstaking analysis had an immediate and profound impact on post-war aviation. The Me-262's swept-wing design, its powerful jet engines, and the concept of underslung engine nacelles directly influenced the next generation of combat aircraft, from the American F-A-6 Sabre to the Soviet MiG-15, shaping the jet age that was to follow. The Messerschmitt Me-262 remains one of history's most compelling what-if stories. What if Hitler had not diverted it into a bomber role? What if engine reliability issues had been solved earlier? The answer is clear. While the Me 262 was a monumental technological achievement, its ultimate impact on World War II was limited. It was an astonishing weapon, but it arrived too little, too late. Its legacy, however, is undeniable. The Schwalbe was the audacious progenitor of modern jet combat, a bold blueprint for the future of aviation. The story of the Me 262 reminds us that technological superiority alone is never enough to guarantee victory. It requires vision, disciplined strategy, and the logistical capacity to deploy it effectively. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe the Me 262 could have genuinely altered the course of World War II under different circumstances? Join the conversation and explore more untold stories from history's most pivotal moments.